Hey, hi guys, this is Faizan and welcome to today's session on how to become a full stack developer in 2021. Now, before I start, can you guys quickly confirm in the chat if I'm audible or not? Is everything okay? Can you hear my voice properly? Is the slide deck visible to you guys? And can you see the pointer? If yes, then give me a quick confirmation in the chat. And in the meanwhile, let me give you a quick tour of how our academy looks like. So, we all know about it, right? Great Learning Academy, the platform where we have all the free courses as well. Now today I'm going to talk about the career transformation programs, right? So if you're looking for something free, which is which you also get a certificate, right? The completion certificate, you can go through it. Now if you're looking for career transformation, we have explicitly, if you talk about this session, I want to introduce you to this session. If you go into the software development, right, and you see over here the advanced certificate program, right? It's a full stack development program with IIT Roorkee. Okay, so it is a advanced certificate. Okay, now what are the things that we are going to cover in this certificate? Okay, so this is the curriculum. So there will be a pre-work, that is introduction to programming, where these things will be covered. Okay, the basics of HTML, CSS, Git, right? So all of these things will be covered. Then we will come to, basically this is a full stack development, right? Now whenever we talk about full stack, so there should be something which is on the front end side of it as well as on the back end side, plus some database, right? We are going to demystify those facts in this session, right? So plus we have this back end development in this, right? Oops will be covered, data structures, algorithms, databases, and server side development as well. Okay, now if you talk about front end, in front end we will be covering these topics: HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and some JavaScript framework, right? Most probably React, and it will be kind of a self study, right? Now once you are done with these things, now there is, right now we are in such era that we need something extra. Now if you want to go a little bit more and learn something, you have two options, right? So it will be, one will be the cloud computing and another will be Python for data science. If you're talking about cloud computing, right, so these are the things that will be covered. If you're interested in this, you can go with this, right? Plus we have Python for data science as well, right? So in this, these things will be covered, right? Supervised, unsupervised learning, supervised learning, right? So all of these things will be covered. Plus there will be a career assistance, right? And which includes resume building, mock interviews, one-on-one mentorship, right? So all of these things will be included. And if you have any confusion, and if you talk about faculties, these will be the faculties that you will be interacting with, right? These are the faculties which will be teaching you. Okay, cool. So now let's go back to our session and let's try to understand what are the things that you require in 2021 to become a full stack developer. Okay, okay, great. I can see some yeses. Okay, cool. So now the first thing is that what are the key takeaways from this session? What are the things that you will be introduced, right? We already have session on all of these things, right guys? So we, in this session, we are going to just help you understand what are the things that are there in order to become a full stack developer, and what are the shortcuts, and what are the, can I join this? Yes, absolutely, absolutely. I have shown you. Go in the Great Learning Academy. I will show you again. Go in the Great Learning Academy and just look for career transformation, and you can also download the brochure here, right? And this is the, okay, so you just go back to here, the Great Learning Academy, then click on career transformation, look for software development, and then you have this advanced certificate program in full stack development, right? And if you have any queries, you can call this number which is on the bottom screen, right? Bottom left. Okay, okay, cool. So any queries that you have regarding the structure and all of those things, the number is there, you can give it a call, and if it suits you, go for it. Okay, cool. So now in this session, we are going to first understand the architecture of a web development. So how what are the things that are required? Okay, then the type of web developers. Okay, who is a full stack developer, right? What are the layers of full stack development? We'll talk about those as well. Okay, and finally, in which we all are interested, right? The salaries. What are the salary? So this salary is a minimum salary that you will be getting. So maximum is up to you, up to your projects. Okay, okay, cool. So now then we'll be covering the common myths, and then finally, the correct path. What should be the path in order to become a full stack developer? That too without going here and there, without wasting any time in unnecessary things, right? Or learning something which is extra, which will help you maybe 2 years down the line or 3 years down the line, right? So those things we are not focusing on, okay? So we'll be focusing on the things that require in order to become a full stack developer very quickly, okay? So this session is built in such a way that it will be beneficial for both the experienced person as well as the one who is just thinking about becoming a full stack developer, okay? So now let's get started with the first. We'll understand the web development architecture. So if we talk about web developer, what is the web development architecture? Now if you see over here, this is the front end part of it, right? The applications that you see right now, you're watching this video on YouTube, right? So the interface, the UI, that is the front end with which you can interact, right? So tech, I don't know the fee. You just go through the brochure and everything will be there, okay? I have learned basics of Python, how to grow from here. I'm working at PSU with your student R&D project manager in mechanical engineering. So once the Python is, are you looking for a front end or back end? So that is the main question, right? Or you're looking for a full stack. So full stack, rather you should not go for full stack as in directly if you don't have any experience. Start with small baby steps, right? Start with front end or maybe some back end and then, okay, cool. Can I join? Yes, you can join this. Okay, sir, I have completed MC in 2013, but I don't have any job. I think data science course is better or not. So yeah, it depends upon your personal preference, right? If you are looking for something which is related to data and data is the thing that drives you crazy and you're interested in how the things work, absolutely you should go for data science, right? And if you're looking for development, maybe some kind of a web development or some kind of an application development, you should definitely go for the front end development or back end, depending upon your choice, okay? What are the languages to be? Yes, we are going to cover Ganga, we are going to cover those things. What are the languages that you need to learn in order to become a full front end engineer, okay? I only know basics of Python. Okay, no problem. I will give you a roadmap for that. If you're looking for a front end or if you're looking for a back end, if you're looking for back end, I will give you the roadmap for that as well, okay? So how can I get a job in web development? I will tell you, okay? What are the things that you require, Shivam? I will tell you, okay? Don't worry. Okay, so now let's try to understand the web development architecture. So this is the front end part of it, what you see, like Facebook, Gmail, all of these things, the UI that you interact with. That is the first thing. Then is the server, right? This is your server to which you will send a request, okay? Now once the server, now you might have seen, right? Whenever you have any page, there are some things like in Facebook, you first have to identify that this is your account. So you enter your email ID and password, you send a request to a server. Now server sends a request to your database, or right now everything is on cloud, so maybe your database, if data is very small, right, it sends the request checking your credentials, and once the credentials are verified, then a response will be sent, okay? So a response will be sent, okay, this is the correct user and this is his account, and then a response will be sent back. So this is the mainly in nutshell how you interact with your with your server, or how the web development architecture is. So you send in short, you send a request. If everything goes well, you get a response, right? Even if something is not correct, right? Let's suppose the server is down, you will get some error message like 404 page not found, right? So you get those things, but you will always get some response, okay? Sir, can I go for master course of web development from Great Learning? Yes, there are multiple courses, right? I right now I've showed you the FSD program, right? The advanced certificate program. I will talk about it again, okay? So don't worry if you have missed it, okay? So how can I get a job in web development? Shivam, I will explain you how, okay? So don't worry, keep posting your questions, be it any question, guys. Even if you think that this question is silly or I shouldn't ask it, if you're not getting anything, we are just introducing everything to you guys in this session, okay? We have sessions on each and every topic, almost each and every topic. What are the things that are going to be there in this session. We already have topics and well explained topics. I'm just giving you the brief overview of how full stack development works. Okay. Please describe C sharp full stack development requirements also. Sure, Pulkesh. Sure, I will also explain. I will also give you a roadmap little bit. But C sharp is right now not that much in use. Probably you should go for some of the React, or a kind of a thing. So for front end React, maybe from back end Node something. If you're familiar with it. Okay, it started. Okay, okay. Okay, cool. What is the salary we get in IC role? IC as in? Pratik, can you IC? Can you please explain this term INC? Okay, cool. So this is the architecture. Now let's see the types of web developer. Now everybody is thinking, okay, how should we become, or what are the things that, how many types of developers? So broadly, there are some developers which are specific to some language, like Java developer, right? Like you have Node.js developer, React developer, React Native developer, right? So they basically are good in this language. They have such hold on this language that they choose to work on that particular language only. Okay, so now broadly divided, if you can see that the web developers are divided broadly in these three terms, right? Front end, who works on the UI. Integrated circuits, I have no idea. Okay. Sujit, okay, so who can become a full stack developer, like you have been from IT Bragger, like you have been from it. Anyone can become a web developer, guys. It's all about learning a language, and then what, understanding its in and out, how it works, what are the internal working of each and everything. Not that much in depth, but yes. So how front end works, what is the back end, which language should you learn, and then starting to build projects, right? Start with baby steps, right? So let's suppose you have you only know front end. Now start creating a front end application, a simple application which involves HTML for the structure, obviously. I will tell you, okay? So let's not jump. Okay, sir, I'm civil engineer. I am a civil engineering background. Okay, I want to transfer to software engineering. Which course is better, sir? As a fresher, you should definitely go for easy things, right? So HTML, CSS, JavaScript. That's it. Front end is covered. Okay, I will explain you. Okay, so don't worry, Sanju. Okay. So now what are the things? So for front end, obviously now anything that you see is a front end. Now if we'll talk about these things individually one by one. Okay, then you have backend, which involves only the backend, where whatever you do is not reflected. Basically it deals with how you store your information and then fetching that information, right? And then there is a DB, that is your database from which you fetch your information. So one who deals with both of these things, right? One is your front end as well as your back end. So that is your full stack developer. Okay, so this involves a lot of effort, right? If you're a fresher, don't go for it. Okay, and if there is something which is easy and you can just go and get started with this, are these two things. Okay, front end and back end. Okay, so now let's try to see who is a full stack developer. Okay, now a full stack developer is somebody who works with front end of an application. Like you see Gmail is there, right? Whatever you see, if you click on this, then what happens? If you click on that, what happens? Okay, so now once you have the front end part of it, and also you build the back end with the help of any programming language like Java, Python, okay, or Node.js, then with the help of APIs. Now these APIs are nothing but a bridge. Okay, you can see that this something is already there and you just have to use it, right? So this is the bridge that helps you to do that. Okay, so already pre-written code which will help you to do a lot of things. Okay, so okay, we have a lot of questions. Okay, sir, I know technologies, that is HTML, Preetham says. Okay, CSS, Bootstrap, JavaScript, React on basic levels. How much experience is needed to land? You are almost there, Preetham. Okay, you are almost there. You just have to use these things and create as many projects as you want and put them in your resumes. Okay, put them in on your LinkedIn profile and show what you have done. Okay, once you know everything, that whatever you have learned and you are implementing it, then it becomes easy for you. Okay, and if whenever you are facing an interview, these things will help. Okay, so I have done this, I created this, I have learned this, then I created this. Okay, individual contributor role, how much maximum? Okay, I'm a data analyst now. I have basic knowledge of Python and Java. Which course I should do to become a? Okay, so Python, knowledge of Python and Java. Now, if it depends, both of them are used as a backend, right? So it's better to go for Python, as Python is currently on a boom, right? So always there is if you talk about Java, right, there's a legacy code written on it, right? So you cannot just say that now we don't need any Java developer. So there will be always a scope of Java developer. But yes, if you want to as compared to Java, there are a lot of job opportunities based on Python, but they require a little bit of experience. Okay, cool. So is this beneficial in hackathon and also GSOC? Yes, Shivam. How it helps you? This obviously now, once you go through those coding grounds, right? If you talk about competitive programming, once you have given the coding ground, then at any point of time, be it the first round or second round or third round, you need to showcase your development skills, right? What have you built? What are the things you know, right? So in that thing, this session will obviously help you, and you should definitely try to build something. Hackathons is a good thing that you are participating in them, and obviously you might be using Hacker Earth or Hacker Rank or maybe Lead Code for learning them, and obviously GSOC is one of the best, right? So now, after you going through that, then there will be a one round which is absolutely on your web development skills, right? They will they will ask you what are the things that you have done, what are the things that you have built, right? So you need to have those projects added. Okay, I am a data scientist, already answered, Mohit. Where can I practice actual Java? So there are a lot of as in the concepts. If you want to run your programs, if you don't want to download anything, Geeks for Geeks is there, right? And if you want to use Java in order to implement your data structures and algorithms, obviously those are important, and you can use Lead Code for that. You can solve questions. Okay, which profile is more successful and in demand, data analyst, BA, or full stack and data analyst as well? They are kind of on a similar the success rate or the in demand domains. These are basically on same level. Okay, you cannot say that. Okay, that one is not in demand, or full stack is not in demand. Both of them have their are in demand. Okay, sir, scope of PHP full stack developer. I will show you a way. I will explain the PHP. Okay, so don't worry about it. I will give you a little bit of understanding what to learn and what not to learn for PHP developers. Okay, Mohit, you can practice on Java. Yes, you can learn from Java T point as well. Okay, sir, please see my meds. Also, don't ignore. Okay, Shivam, I think I have answered you asked for hackathons, right? Okay. Yes. Okay, cool. So guys, if something is if some comments are missed, right, so we can always write it again. Okay. So which language is best for learning Java? For is best for learning Java or Python? I myself love to code in Java, so I will go for Java. But if you don't have any experience either in Java or Python, go for Python. It will be much easier for you. Okay, what is the difference between data analytics and so? So data analyst is something which is related to your data science and your algorithms, your machine learning things, right? And full stack is completely that you don't deal with data. You only deal with what you see and is what you get, right? Kind of a thing, right? So you will be creating web development applications, right? On your website, you will be creating websites, applications, anything, right? I will explain you the full stack. And for data analytics, there is only I think earlier today. What is the data career for data science? It was today we also had a session on data science. One who are interested in data science can go through that session as well. Okay, is data engineering a worth field? Yes, from data analyst. Yes, it is. Yes, Mohit, correct. Okay, so what you like, C or Java? Java. Okay, okay, cool. Now let's see who is a full stack developer. So full stack is the guy who deals with front end languages. He should be experienced with. So now, why full stack is a little bit tricky domain, right? You don't have to repeat it. Oh, Biraj, you don't have to repeat it. Okay, okay. I told you that I love to code in Java. Okay, so one who is interested in what, your front end languages, your back end languages, and your database. Okay, so now what are the things that are there in your let's try let's talk about these layers. Okay, so there are three layers basically in your full stack development. There is a presentation layer. Obviously now this thing is self-explanatory, guys, right? What is a presentation layer? It deals with your front end languages, HTML, CSS, defining the structure, adding colors to it, that is your CSS. If you know Bootstrap, that is good. And then your JavaScript. Let's suppose if you click on this, what will happen? If you click on this button, what is the function that you want to call? Okay, that is your presentation layer. Then you have the business layer, wherein you will store your data and what is the backend language that you are using. That's the business area. And then you have the database layer. Okay, let's talk about one by one on these. So let's suppose this is your web page, right? Now how do you define this structure, that this is one let's suppose this is one div, this is another div, this is another div, and this is your image. Here you want your image, here you want your username, right? You're defining here structure. Here you have the hamburger sign, right? The sign that you see, the three dots, right? Or like in YouTube, if you see that you have this sign over here like this, right? This is a hamburger sign. How do you do it? Is there any way? Is there any shortcut that you can do it? Yes. Which one is best for fresher? TCS or any startup? For fresher, you should not go for startups, guys. Obviously now there will be a lot of pressure, but if you are willing to give, let's suppose if you're willing to give 8 to 9 or maybe 10 hours in a day, right? So then you should definitely go for a startup, because the expectation level is very high, and they will if they are paying you something, they will make sure that it is worth, right? So you will learn a lot. But if you are a slow learner and you don't want that much, you're not willing to give that much, right, that much time in your study, or you're not willing to give that much time, so then you should definitely go for a company which is not a startup, because then there is a slow process. The learning process will be slow. It is up to you. Okay, I rather go for a startup, because I can easily then switch. Okay, what should I do for backend language and front-end developer, which is more useful at this time? So basically, if you are a full stack developer, sky is the limit, right? If you are a full stack developer, if you are a full stack developer, then it is up to you. Are you choosing a front-end development kind of a thing, or are you choosing a backend? Whatever suits you, right? But if you are a full stack, that means you are covering both, the best of two worlds, right? These are two worlds, your HTML and your front end and your back end, right? These are two worlds, right? It will come with time, study with job, right? You don't have to watch some movies and watch. If you're not able to understand them, use the subtitle, to understand how they are using. But with time it will come. You don't have to worry about it. Okay, whenever you are giving your competitive you have those competitive programming websites, right? They will give you a paragraph of there's a question, but that question is not simple. It will be in the form of paragraph, right? In order to understand that, you should have a good hold over your English language, so that you can understand that question. That's it. This is not something on the basis of this, that if you don't know English, that you won't be selected or not, right? It's not that like that. Okay, cool. Is DSA required for full stack? Absolutely, Ashish, right? Absolutely. Data structures and algorithms are very important, right? So basically, you should be able to implement data structures in any language, be it C, C++, Java. It is up to you, but you should have a good, solid understanding of data structures and algorithms, right? In full stack, yes. In any coding interview, even if you are going for a FSD role or a front end role or a back end role, the first, maybe not first or second round, will be your this round wherein they will test your data structures and algorithms. Okay. Okay. Sikandar says, "Don't ignore me." Sikandar, I can't see your question. Can you just repeat? Sir, please go above. You missed two of my question. Neha says two of my questions are missed. Neha, can you write it again? Can you copy paste it again? Okay. There are a lot of questions coming. I am just seeing what I can pick. Sir, explain PHP scopes. Sure, Sikandar. I will. Don't worry. So I will be covering those in the back end part of things. Okay. So business layer, right? That is where your business help. Basically, PHP helps you mostly in those applications where there are a lot of transactions, right? Involved. Okay, cool. Sir, please go away. Okay, Neha, just write it again. And DSA already covered. Okay, cool. So now let's go back to this presentation layer. Now you have this presentation layer. Okay. Now, how do you define these things? How do you define this structure of your web page, right? There you have your HTML, right, which helps you to define the structure. Sir, how much experience in years is required for becoming a full stack developer, or we can directly start with it? It depends, right? Right, engineer. So if you have a solid knowledge of HTML, CSS, JavaScript, maybe some React, maybe some Node.js, and you have created a lot of projects, and you know that if I ask you anything, right? If I ask you anything from anywhere, right? I ask you to create this application, create a simple application, create a complex application. You should be able to, write the code for it, right? I will give you some hints, right? The interview will give you some hints here and there, but you should be able to code, like let's suppose 90% of it or 95% of it. Then you can easily directly get this opportunity, right? Every now and then you might be seeing that, okay, this is the guy who got selected as a full stack developer, right? So you just see his projects, what are things he has learned. Okay, so full stack developer, what kind of tools we can use for designing front end? Yes, I will tell you, Pulkesh, don't worry. Sir, what is the scope of data scientist? So anything that is related to data science, we already had a session in the morning at 12 that covered most of these things, so we can refer to that. Okay, so right now let's focus on this thing. Okay, you said as a fresher you should go for front end and back end. Does it mean that to climb a ladder of full stack have to cross the paths of front? Yes, correct. So you should definitely, if you have a little bit of experience, right, you should definitely go for a full stack, right? So you should learn front end, because then if you are going for a full stack, right, then it is obvious that you will be able to cover front end part of it as well as back end plus some database. Then sky is the limit for you, Neha. Okay, so obviously then it will be a little bit difficult and you have to learn a lot of things, but yes, it will be easy for you after 1 year down the line or maybe 2 years down the line. It will be easy for you to get a good hike as well as maybe you get a lot of opportunities, because you know everything, right? You are covering back end as well as front end. Okay, so you should definitely try that. Okay, so now let me just clear my screen. So now for freshers, what are the things that you should learn in order to go for a full stack? And this is the easiest way, guys. So learn HTML, learn CSS, learn JavaScript. So this is for fresher. Okay, if you are a fresher, these things, this is down the line, maybe 2 years down the line or 1 year down the line, you should go for these things. Okay, GitHub, a little bit of knowledge is obviously necessary, but yeah, I already told you, Mahesh, right? Which one is better for fresher? Obviously, if you are willing to give a lot of if you're ready to give a lot of hard work and you are ready to learn, you should go for a startup. Okay, it will be okay if I learn only front end or back end for job purpose. Yes, right. This is Rakesh, right? This is the session that will help you understand what are the things that you should go for. Even if you are going for a full stack, what are the things that you should focus, so that it is easy for you to maybe then go for a full stack role or for a front end. That is up to you. Okay, so for a fresher, if you're looking for a front end, what are the things that you should learn? HTML for structuring your web page, right? Simple. What are the things, right? And if you're going for CSS, that means the coloring and all those other things, right? So to beautify your code, right? So you should go for CSS. Now if you are someone who already has an experience for of CSS, then go for frameworks, Bootstrap, which will help you a lot, right? So that is up to you, right? Sky is the limit, guys. Okay, so now then the third is JavaScript. This is for freshers, okay, plain and simple, right? Then if you are someone who's having an experience, learn Git, learn GitHub, React.js, which is a framework. Obviously now once you have the JavaScript experience, it is easy, very easy for you to understand React. Right now React is on, right now a lot of applications are shifting to React, okay. Angular is also there, but it's a framework, right, wherein this React is a library. So there's a huge difference between these two. So that is why it is lightweight, right? React is a lightweight, React is very lightweight. So that is why most more applications are going for React rather than Angular, okay. Then you have your Chrome development tools, right? What are these? This is nothing, but if you go and if you want to test something, right, let me give you a quick question, guys, so you can put it in the chat if you know the answer. So let's suppose I am writing something in my HTML and I'm using CSS, I'm using JavaScript. Now I want to debug this program. How I can debug this program? It will be okay if I learn front end or back end for job purpose. Yes, Rakesh, it is up to you, right? I will give you maybe some intuition about, or maybe some things which you should learn in order to become a front end like HTML, CSS and JavaScript, right? It is an easy way to learn to go for a front end role. Now I'll be in the next slide, I'll be explaining what are the easy things or how you can easily become a back-end developer. Now what is a full stack developer? Who is a full stack developer? Who knows all of these things? Okay, quickly. Now how can you debug your program in Chrome? Most popular library, jQuery or React. jQuery is obsolete, Sikandar, right? So you should definitely go for React. Should definitely go for React, okay, Sikandar? Quickly, now how do you debug your program? Okay, so it is very simple, guys. So you go into your console, right? So I will just write Ctrl+Shift+I or inspect my elements. So here you can easily debug your program. Any error that you are getting, you will be able to debug each and everything over here, right? It is easy for you to understand, or it is the easiest way for debugging your code, okay. So these development tools that are there, you should be able to use them, right? How you can change the font, how you're changing the height, how you're changing the width, how you're applying CSS, what are the things. Let's suppose, obviously now if you are familiar with CSS, there is something which is known as cascading, right? That means one attribute or one property will take over the other, right? It will just cancel out the earlier property. How that cascading is going, you can easily see those things in your development tools, okay. Cool. Most popular library, Sikandar already. Okay, so what time I should give to learn? Okay, what it is, obviously if you are working or if you are a grad, right? So obviously you should focus on the full stack, right? That is first, not the full stack, but yeah, you should first focus on front end, right? Learn these languages, create a static app. I'm not a static web app, website, right? Don't go for something which is dynamic, right? Because that will require a little bit more effort, right? Sir, what should be best for backend? Yeah, I'm coming to that, okay. Okay, Pandit, Ashish. Okay, cool. So this is your front end. Now the business layer where everything happens. So PHP is there. You should learn PHP, or you should go for Node.js. Very, 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 very important and very in demand. This is highly in demand, and it is based on nothing but JavaScript, right? So it's the runtime environment, right? So that you can easily go for this as well. So you can either go for PHP, learn PHP in the backend, or Node.js or Java as a fresher. Now if you are someone who is having a lot of experience, right, there will be some C# developers as well, right? So that will fall under .NET framework. You should go for that, or Ruby or Python, right? As a fresher, it is not as advised to go for Python, because Python is something which is very vast, and it will take you some. It is easy to learn, but there are a lot of things that you need to learn. Okay, but yeah, as a fresher, you should go for either Java, Node.js, or PHP. Okay, for backend, that is where you will be playing around with your data. Okay, all the fetching of data and all other those things that will be there in this business layer. Okay, so again, I'm going back to where we started. Let me just show you what are the things that we will be covering in this the advanced certificate program in full stack development, which is with IIT Roorkee. Okay, so these are the things that we'll be learning, right? So just give me a second. Yeah, so first you will be understanding the basic structure, right, which is very important, guys, right? So basic structure of programming, that will include maybe some programming constructs like loops, arrays. It will start with basics, right? Then you will be we will be giving you an introduction on Git, command line scripting, basics of HTML and CSS, right? Once that is done, this is on the pre-work, right? If you know these things, well and good, then skip it. Okay, now we'll be focusing on that backend first. Okay, so backend will be covering OOPs, data structures, very important in order to get a job. Each and every interview that you will be giving, this will be always there, right? Then algorithms, then database design and systems, right? So basically how you design your system, what is your front end, what is your back end, what is the flow of your program, UML diagrams, all those things, right? Then server side development and frameworks. Now in front end, obviously, as I told you, very important, HTML, CSS and JavaScript. Okay, then you can either go for cloud computing, which covers these things, which is involved wherein we have Python, Cloud Foundation, right? So basically you will be having these, basically everything right now is on cloud, right? Because that is where you store your data, right? So you can either go for a static database as well, maybe MySQL. I will tell you what is the shortcut and which thing should you learn first. Okay, so what should be best? I told you. Okay, Pandit, is it clear? Sir, can I become a full stack developer learning HTML, CSS and JavaScript? That is engineer, that is basically your front end, right? You need to have something to support your back end as well. So then you have Python for data science, which will include these things. SQL programming is there, right? Then this is the most important thing, guys, career assistance from great learning. That is how you build your resume, right? In order to get right, there is an algorithm behind getting your resume picked, right? There's an algorithm how you can build your resume in such a way, right? There's basically what you should do, right, as a fresher, how you should apply for jobs. Basically change your resume according to the job. What are the job requirements? That is how your resume gets picked. Then it is up to you and up to your coding skills, up to your development skills, right? But getting the resume picked, so those resume building will be there, one-on-one mentorship will be there, mock interviews will be there. Okay, so these are the things that will be covered, okay, in this advanced program. Okay, advanced certificate program. Okay, now coming back to our slide. Okay, so business layer, now the database layer, where you will be storing your data, or basically cloud. Okay, so it is easy for you to go for what? MySQL. Okay, so basically these are your databases, and it's easy and it is well advised for you as a fresher to go for MySQL. If basically in this everything will be in the form of tables, right, and in this everything will be in the form of documents. So if you are a experienced guy, you should go for MongoDB, because it is much more simpler. But yeah, as a fresher, you should definitely learn MySQL, and it is very easy to learn. Okay, and you can just then use it in your programs. Okay, use it in your application. Okay, cool. So this is the database layer. Now if you are done with all of these things, right, maybe what you have learned front end, you have learned back end, and now you have learned your database as well. What are some extra things that you should learn as a fresher? So you should understand HTTP, how you are getting your request, how you are posting your request, to all of these things. Then you should understand REST API. Not that much in depth. I don't want that much in for you guys to understand this in depth. But yeah, you should have a good understanding that how API works. Go for an API, use it in your application, and then see how it works. Okay, as a fresher. Okay, and then there are DevOps, right? So there are some you should have an understanding of Docker as well, how how Docker works, okay, or how it helps, right? Maybe some Kubernetes as well as a fresher, okay. Not that much. I don't want you to waste your time in these technologies, but yeah, these are something which are good to know, okay. And this will give you a, let's suppose if someone is knowing those everything, right? He's knowing front end, he's knowing back end, he's knowing SQL, he's knowing database as well. But yeah, how you will be able to separate if one person knows this thing and another person knows front end, back end, and database, same as the above, but he knows something about RESTful API, okay, or REST APIs, right? So obviously I will give preference to him because I know that he is someone who is willing to go a little bit more, right? So it is up to that. Obviously now it is not necessary, but yeah, you should go for these things once you have those things covered, okay. So minimum qualification required for full stack, that is what I'm saying. Everything that you see in green is the minimum requirement, Sikandar, okay. I will just at the end I'll give you a short maybe a trick, or maybe some things which are absolutely necessary and which is the minimum qualification that you require, okay. So don't worry about it, but yeah, these things you should know, okay. Then you have testing, then you have Firebase. For the guys who have some experience, testing is very important, right? Unit testing, J unit testing, right? So those are very important to test your code. Then you have mobile app development, maybe a little bit about Android and all, okay. Good to know, guys, okay. Now these are some important points that I want to share with you guys, okay. So only knowing front end and back end is not enough for a full stack. You should know a database, okay. Nobody can become a full stack developer in 2 months, but yes, this is something which is absolutely dependent on you, right? It is dependent from person to person, right? So let's suppose if you have only experience, right, you have only front end knowledge, you have back end knowledge, and you have database knowledge, it is not enough. Why? Because you should have some solid projects to support that thing, right? You should be able to create websites which involve all of these things, right, from the scratch, not getting something which is already on GitHub and then yeah. But yeah, there is something that you should know. For a fresher, it is impossible for you to create something on your own, right? Why I'm telling this, you should obviously just clone something, right? If something is there on the GitHub, clone it out, right? First, clone it with the help of HTML, CSS. Go for a static application, okay, which involves only HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, okay. Static application, clone it out, easy, right? You just have to Mahesh, you need to check that, okay. So you should clone it out. Once you have cloned it out, put it on your resume, on your LinkedIn profile. Now go a little bit go for 2-3 applications which are static, then go for dynamic applications. Once that is cloned, go for now use some backend, maybe Java or Python or maybe Node.js. Clone them, okay. Once you have cloned them, I can assure you that you will be having so much experience and you will be in love with full stack development, okay. Now obviously when you are cloning it out, when you want to fetch something, there you require database, right? Now for requiring that database, obviously you should have a solid understanding of MySQL or maybe MongoDB. Then you should learn that as well. And once you have learned it, go on a GitHub, get some project, any project, right, and clone it. Clone it means understanding each and every line and then writing it on your own. So basically it is just like copy pasting, but yes, you need to understand each and everything on that particular. Then once you have done this thing for maybe 2 or 3 projects, then it is up to you, and now you can create your own projects, okay. Obviously you need help. You have Stack Overflow, you have what obviously Stack Overflow is one of the best, okay. So you have Stack Overflow, you should post your questions there if you have, or on GitHub, right? Then then obviously once you have those projects in your bag, then obviously this is possible. Becoming a full stack in maybe 5 months or in 1 year is possible, okay. Now SDLC, how the development life cycle works. What are the things, right? As a fresher is very important. Creating something on your own, which I have already discussed, right? Then do not think about that I'll first learn the technologies and then earn. You should go side by side, as there are many freelancing websites like Upwork, there is River, right? so you can go for them as well. So learn something and then go for that. Okay, for now let's understand this a little bit about SDLC, right? You must first know the requirement. If you're creating your project, then you will understand these things in much more depth. First, you should know the requirements. What are the things that you require? How you are creating? What is the front end? What is the back end? Then design it out on a page, right? That is basically, that will act as a blueprint. Then start implementing it. Start testing it. Then test it out. Then evolution is that then you will be creating something more, right? So first you have this project which is not scalable. That means if you have 50 users, and then if you have 51 users, your program will crash. So then it keeps on evolving. This is for something which comes with time, right? This is not something we should be focusing on as a fresher. Okay, so this is the development cycle. First, know your requirements, design it out, implement those, test them. Requirements, design, implementation, test. So this is actually how your software should, how you create your modules. Okay, sir, is there any program for learning related to professional training for project development? There are some web development websites, or basically how you create, how you go from a beginner to an advanced, how you should think of how you create your project, basically what are the things that are involved. We are working on that and it will be released soon. Okay, so basically we'll be helping you guys to understand how you can build an e-commerce website. Okay, that will definitely give you some idea application. Now obviously salaries. So for a front end, these are the minimum salaries, guys. So obviously that you can see that as high, it can go up to 10 LPA, right? 10 lakhs per annum. Okay, so this is something which varies from, basically if you are applying for jobs in depends on if you are applying jobs in maybe in India, or if you are applying jobs in somewhere else, maybe in UK, USA. Okay, or basically right now if I'm talking remotely, right, we have that opportunities as well, right? You can work remotely, so this will vary, but as a base salary you will be getting as a 5 LPA for front end, only front end. Okay, for a back end it is 6. Now it can go as high as 20 LPA, right? Okay, so again it depends. So base salary is this, that the average salary that you will be getting. And now if you are someone who is a full stack developer, don't go for these things, right? So this is the basic salary. That obviously, now if you are someone who has no experience at all, and he just have his projects, right, to support him. Okay, so basically that is why it is so low. Okay, so don't get scared that okay, this I will be getting only if I'm learning these many things, so don't worry about it. Okay, so obviously now this is something which is related to or this is something which is dependent on your skills, right? You can have, if you don't have any obviously you should have some skills, but if you are not if you don't have that much experience, then it will definitely vary. Okay, so I have a lot of friends who are working as on same role. He's also a software developer, he's also a software developer, he's also a front end developer, he's also a front end developer, but their salary is varying. Why? Because of the experience. Okay, because of their projects. They both passed out in the same year, right? So but their salaries are varying. Okay, one is getting 24 LPA and another is getting he is getting around 8 LPA. Okay, same year, past, same batch, same skills, but yeah, obviously some one of them is having a lot of projects that are involved in his resume. Okay, and a little bit of experience as well. Okay, cool, and plus some internships. Okay, that will help. Okay, so this is the full stack developer's salary. And some common myths is that, can company hire junior full stack developer or a junior backend developer? Yes, they can, but again it depends. Okay, fresher who knows all these languages can become a full stack developer. Yes, he can. Okay, so if you are a fresher and you know all of these languages and you have projects to back it up, you have some maybe some experience, freelancing experience, definitely you can. HTML, CSS, JS is for kids? No, it is not. It is one of the easiest way how you can become a full stack developer. Freelancing is not a good choice. You won't make money. It's not about making money, guys, it's about experience. right? How you can create those experiences, how you can create those applications, or whatever is the work that is assigned, and they will pay you maybe some $5, $10. It's not about the money, it's about the experience that you can add it up in your resume. That is how you get your salaries, how you get a much more salary than a person who's not freelancing. Okay, testing is not for full stack developers, absolutely not. You need testing, you will be testing, you will be doing unit testing, you will be doing JUnit testing, you will be testing your code. Okay, so it is very important. Now what is the correct path? Focus on front end, get a job, then migrate to back end. Okay, and then you can easily, once you have these three steps, then you can easily go work as a freelancer and easily become a full stack developer, right? Okay, is this thing clear? Baby steps, guys. Okay, so first learn front end, HTML, CSS and JavaScript as a fresher. Done. Once you are done with this HTML, CSS and JavaScript, right, for a fresher. Now someone who's having an experience, he might be thinking, okay sir, what I will learn? You should go for Bootstrap over here, and you should go for React over here. Done. Your front end is covered. Now as a back end, what you should learn? Go for Java as a as a fresher, or PHP, maybe some Python. Okay, but if you are an experienced person, go for Node.js or go for Python. Okay, done. Backend done. For maybe database, for a fresher, go for MySQL. Easy, very easy to learn. MySQL or SQL, right? Or if you're an experienced person, go for what? MongoDB. Okay, done. This is for an experienced person as well as for a fresher, and start focusing on freelancing. Okay guys, once you have something, try to implement it, create projects, go for freelancing. I know it's hard, you won't be earning that much, but it is not about earning. Okay, it is about getting an experience. Okay, so all the very best, guys. And if you haven't gone through that, go visit that advanced program, right, which I earlier showed you. Go visit that. Okay, and see what are the things that are there. Go download the brochure. Okay, and go through those topics which will be covered. Okay, so it's up to you. Okay, then you can choose either the cloud one or the Python in data science one. Okay, so cloud, obviously front end there will be HTML, CSS and JavaScript, and in the back end there will be object oriented programming, data structures which are very important, algorithms which are very important, database design, that is MySQL, NoSQL, MongoDB. You can choose whatever you like. Then there are server side development, you can say the frameworks, Spring, Hibernate is there, right, in that. And then if you're going for cloud computing specialization, right, then you can in that we will be covering cloud foundation, containers, AWS, core and advanced both, and DevOps, right. If you're going for Python for data science, we'll be covering data science, Python for data science, SQL programming, data analysis will be there, Tableau will be there, some applications of time series and text mining will be there. Okay, you guys can go and visit that. If you I have shown you how to go there. Okay, cool guys, so thank you so much. Okay, and I will see you in the next session. All right, so you can give me if you don't have any questions, then we can wrap up this session. Okay, sir, where I learn full stack developer full course. So if you have seen Shivam, I have shown you that the advanced certificate program with IIT Roorkee, right? So you can either go for that if you're willing to, or if you're just focusing on the basic introductions, those are covered on our YouTube channel. Okay, we have a 10-hour course, right, on JavaScript. We have a 10-hour course on HTML and CSS. There you have it, you have your front end covered. Okay, then if you're looking for Java, again we have a 6-hour course on Java. We have a maybe 6 to 7 hours course on Python. Is that okay to use data science with C#? Yes, Pulkesh. Okay, we also today itself we had a session on we had a session on data science, right, how to start a career in data science in 2021. You can visit that as well. Today it was today, and maybe around 12, right? Okay, cool guys. So thank you so much, and I will see you in the next. Okay, all the very best, guys, and stay safe. Thank you.